anchoring democracy advocacy movement in Ghana has organized Save Ghana Conference with a demand of immediate removal of Commissioner of Police COP Judge Alex Mensah for his inadequate service towards Ghanaians.
Anything that has to do with our democracy, it is our responsibility to also come out and add our voice. One has to do with the recent leak tape of a senior police officer, COP George Alex Mensah, and we all heard what was in the audio, talking about he being the best person to be the IGP if Dampare is removed, so that he can be able to help his party NPP to break the 8 or to win power in 2024. And we as civil society organization, we wonder how a police officer can be able to win an election for a political party. And that means he is going to kill maybe you and I that day and brutalize people in order to win the election for his party. And two, we are looking at what is also happening in our military. While at the police, they are working to remove the IGP and bring someone who is a political person for a reason best known to them ahead of 2024 elections. You come to the Ghana Armed Forces, as we speak right now, a meeting has been held, and the current CDS is also under pressure to be kicked off before his retirement date that will come on April next year, 2024. And the question is, why should we push him out and bring somebody else? For what reason? And why should the current CDS and the current IGP be a target? So these are some of the things we are looking at. And the third one is we know the Vice President, Mahmoud Bawumia. He's meeting with one of the supposed successor of the CDS on the recent Salah holidays in his residence. And from that meeting in Bawumia's house with one Major General Pompapra, it has been clear to all of us that he is tipped to be the next CDS, and therefore there's a pressure to remove the current CDS for him to take over from him. Meanwhile, the current CDS will be retiring by April 2024. So I think, as I don't want to bother you so much, these are the three key areas we are going to look at.
Service and the Ghana Armed Forces should not allow themselves to be used for political and tribal conflicts. Anchoring Democracy Advocacy Movement Ghana, which has its acronym as ADAMGH, has taken note of how the hierarchy of the Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Armed Forces are allowing themselves to be used by the MPP government to fuel tribal and political conflict ahead of 2024 general elections. The recently leaked audio of a senior police officer undermined the work of the current Inspector General of Police, that Dr. Dampare. The IGP, by lobbying to replace the IGP and subsequently help the current MPP government to continue to cling to power regardless of the will of the majority of Ghanaians, is a worrying situation for us. As a country, we need absolute trust and unity between our police administration and the Ghanaians as a whole to seek public support and to always deliver accurate information to the police to fight crime and enforce the laws. Unfortunately, when self-centered individuals and bad laws like COP George Alex Mensah and others are identified, we should not hesitate as a nation to call for their removal from the police service in order to ensure professionalism, harmony, and a united front in the police administration. COP Judge Alex Mensah has shown clearly that he is the police for the MPP and not the Ghana police, and therefore cannot use the power given to him as the Ghana police officer to fight for political battles that is supposed to be discouraged by his office. We are therefore calling for his immediate removal from the Ghana Police Service so that he can have full time to use his strength, skill, and knowledge and his die-hard love for the MPP to serve his party folks. Lobbying to be given power that belongs to the state to fight for his party MPP as he did in the Iowa West Wogon by-election will be fiercely resisted by all means and might of Ghanaians. The Commissioner of Police, Alex George Mensah, who doubles as a board member of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, can reduce these high offices he's occupying this low, as we heard him do loudly and clearly on the tape, and still be in police service is frightening. It means you can actually have police officers who believe that elections should be rigged against the will of the people, and that appointment to the high office of IGP ought to be dictated by political affiliation and partisan interest. That's what it means by his conduct. The operation of COP Judge Alex Mensah have always been against the interest of the nation to favor his political party and must not be allowed. COP Judge Alex Mensah was the first Deputy Commissioner of the Police in charge of operations, who supervised the Iowa West Wogon by-election violence, but turned around, throwing dust into the eyes of Ghanaians. With this same attitude we heard in the leaked audio, he denied knowledge of vehicles used by the masked men during the Iowa West Wogon by-election at the time. According to him, the vehicles used by the masked armed men were not part of the pool of vehicles used by the Ghana Police Service. COP Judge Alex Mensah should resign from the police service now in his own interest, or else the family of the Iowa West Wogon victims and Ghanaians will never forgive him when he finally drops the uniform and joins the civilian society. And we mean what we say. Politics is gradually destroying all our noble state institutions in Ghana. That used to be our bragging right as Ghanaians, such as the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, and recently I'm sure all of you are aware about what's happening with the infiltration of members who are openly politically aligned to the MPP in the Electoral Commission. And we'll come to that. As we speak, intelligence NRB is currently picking about Ghana Armed Forces. It's so scary to our beloved country, Ghana, and must be a national security concern. The number one meeting by the Ghana Armed Forces have been held by top government officials and some senior members of the Ghana Armed Forces to push out the current Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amama. Mr. Amama is supposed to go on retirement somewhere in April 2024, which is about a year from now. And then, unfortunately, Vice President Dr. Baumia had a meeting with the current Chief of Army Staff Major General during the Eid holidays at his residence. And since then, plans are far advanced to make Okompepra the head of Chief of Defense Staff. Will one be wrong to conclude that the haste in this appointment is to get the hatchet men to carry politically motivated plans against the will of the people? Is that the motive? We heard the President Nana Addo Dankwa-Akufo-Addo's pledge, which was eagerly supported by Lord Comey and Honorable Brian Champo, that never, under their watch, will power be ceded to any political party except the MPP after the 2024 election. I think that such statements, for me, as a media, are condemnable and reprehensible to say the least. But here we are. Everybody is quiet, including moral society. This is very dangerous to the survival of Ghana, because we have one Ghana and one people. And if we succeed in using our state security to destroy ourselves based on tribe and political differences, then there's no nation for us at all, including those security officers they are planning to use to disturb the peace of the nation. Because of course, all of us have families in one way or the other. So even if you use them and you deploy them to carry out this agenda, whatever consequence that comes with it also affects your own families. Why is MPP as a government, as a party in government, so bent on infiltrating Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Armed Forces with their political cronies at this crucial time? What is the agenda? Why the haste to remove the current chief of defense staff before his retirement date? Why can government not wait for him to finish his term by April next year? Is it true that the government is going to pay serious amount of salary in advance with allowances up to April 2024 and force him to go on retirement? Is it true? It's a question we ask based on the intelligence we have picked. What is this government cooking with the security and think that they have to remove the current IGP and the current chief of defense staff immediately and replace them with their die-hard party members? What is the agenda? Ghana Police Service and the Ghana Armed Forces as state institutions are for Ghanaians. And we will not allow the hand of officers to destroy this noble institution. I do not think that if their predecessors were to use the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service to fight tribal and political battles and politicize the Ghana Army and the Ghana Police Service to this extent, people like Pompepra and his counterparts in the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service would have been interested in joining this service, because of course the honesty and the integrity of this institution would have been compromised and nobody would have wanted to join the service. These senior officers should know that they have put a few years to serve as senior officers, and therefore should not allow themselves to be used by their party to destroy the hard-won reputation and integrity of these noble institutions. We wish to advise these senior officers that the integrity, the morale, and the respect of the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service must be protected and remain as they came to meet it after their tenure expires. The politicization of our police and armed forces has caused undue pain to ordinary Ghanaians through political and tribal conflicts in Ghana. The misbehavior of our security officers killing innocent Ghanaians before and during 2024 general elections, and the over 1 year long tribal conflict between the Mampusis and Kusas in Boko and Mampusis and Bonjas in Daboya is a clear indication that lawlessness and impunity have overcome now in the hands of our security and will not be ready for such political and tribally motivated security operations in the coming future. Vice President Dr. Bami Bamia would have failed Ghanaians and Northerners as a whole if during his regime as the Vice President and Chairman of the Ghana Police Council, his own brothers would be dying in his backyard for more than a year, yet he could not bring lasting peace to his brothers Mampusis and Kusasis and Mampusis and Bonjas. His ascension to the high office will be more or less a curse to his brothers than blessings if he doesn't see the end to these brutalities that is being perpetrated onto his brothers. We, the patriotic citizens, will always remind ourselves of our national pledge, which enjoins us to defend the good name of Ghana and resist any oppressor's rule, to safeguard the only nation we have, and God will help us do so.